from my job. What a shock. At first, I thought my satisfaction at work stemmed from the fact that I had a career rather than a job. Not true. A couple of years later, as the exhilaration of first creating a nifty product of my very own gave way to managing the unrelenting demands of customers and employees who were both interdependent and at each other's throats, I learned that it wasn't the side of the tracks you worked on that determined your satisfaction. It was something else, something far more elusive. Working in a job you call a profession, or in a building that's part of a campus, or, for that matter, a mine chock full of jewels, doesn't necessarily lead to whistling as you skip along your path homeward. Joy doesn't spring from the nature of your product or service. It lies in the something else. But what? Then I met Richard Sheridan. 4 decades earlier, Rich had entered the field of software development, filled with the notion that creating software would be a genuine hoot. But then, like me, he learned that clients, no matter how cool the products or nifty the gadgets his firm was producing for them, changed their minds in mid-development, leading to ugly meetings with tons of finger-pointing and much gnashing of teeth. Code-writing employees became content experts who didn't dare take off a day of work or, heaven forbid, leave on vacation, for fear of causing a costly intellectual vacuum in their absence. What had started as a gentle romp down Candy Cane Lane was now a torturous grind through the valley of unfulfilled expectations, the same valley I occasionally visited and was now trying to avoid. Where had we gone wrong? Better yet, how could we return our firms to places that left us with a spring in our step and a tune on our lips? Rich had the answer. While I plowed away at creating interpersonal training, he studied joy and worked it into his company, and now all of those insights are in this book. I visited his place of work and hung on his every word. It was amazing to watch people eagerly creating, collaborating, and interfacing with customers, brainstorming in teams, and eventually meeting harsh deadlines and demanding product specs, all with a clear sense of passion and accomplishment. A few months passed while I tried to implement what I had learned from Rich back at my place of work. One day, he sent me an email informing me that his new book was coming out soon, and it would focus on how to shape an organization's culture, with some emphasis on shaping it into a joyous workplace. The primary message would be that you could choose whatever type of organization you wanted and shape it into that. The point would be that you had to be intentional about your culture. What? Had Rich gone mad? So I wrote him the following. Rich, your book needs to have one message. If you're going to call the book Joy, Inc., it can't be a book that says you can create whatever corporate culture you want and here's how. Everyone promises to help you change your culture. I personally want the joy you allude to in the title and what I saw firsthand. I went on to tell Rich, your voice is the voice of hope, followed by the voice of practical wisdom. For the love of Mike, don't stop short of telling people to seek a culture of joy. You're being far too modest by hinting they can choose whatever. Somebody needs to stand up for joy. Please consider it your calling. Please don't equivocate your way into another book on culture change. Anything that steps off the stance of joy is the purpose and here's how to get it, lessens your message, raises doubt in the reader, and throws the title into question. I was successful in my exhortations. Joy, Inc. is the book you need to read. Joy, Inc. takes a stand for joy in the workplace. It's about darn time. Carrie Patterson, co-founder, Vital Smarts. Author, influencer, Crucial Conversations, Crucial Confrontations, Change Anything. Introduction. Why joy? Joy in business sounds ridiculous. Perhaps that's why early on I hedged on writing about building a culture of joy, why I was tempted to equivocate. Joy is a pie-in-the-sky, cymbals clanging, music playing, radical dream. Joy is a word that carries connotations of love, happiness, health,